Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first streamer podcast with me, RebirthGaming. How's everybody doing? We've got the chat down below. This is going to be rolling through the whole entire interview. And obviously, guys, we know who the guest is. You don't know who it is? Exclamation mark guest. Our guest is Makairmorph. So, guys, let's give him a warm welcome. Let's get Makari in here today. Welcome, Makari. How are you doing?
I'm a giraffe.
Wow. Just wow. So guys, let's welcome Makari. So Makari, if I can get off to saying it's an honour to have you here, especially for episode 1 of the streamer chat with me, Rebirth. But if people come to this video who don't know who you are, can you explain in a short sentence who you are and what is it about you that is you?
Well, first of all, I'm a giraffe. No. Sorry. I'm a streamer. I've been streaming now full time for a year and a quarter, thereabouts. I run a community on Twitch called the Top Hatters, alongside my art side of things. We just sort of get on and do our streaming of Warframe, Paladins, you name it, with the emphasis of community and not having to worry about people being dicks and just generally ruining the fun in the general Twitch manner that you'd be accustomed to in a lot of streams.
Yes,
we completely shunned that idea. It's all about fun and happiness.
Yeah, so you've got like a really good vibe. Obviously, I know this from first hand because I've experienced your good vibes and stuff, and your streams are just incredible. Especially Harry the Hat. We know who he is. It's an iconic thing over Twitch. If someone says Harry the Top Hat, pretty much 9 out of 10 people know who Makarimorph is. So, yeah. So, obviously, you talk about that you play games. So, what is your main stream games? I know you have a schedule. Obviously, I do. But what is your schedule that you play for people?
Well, right now, Warframe has always been like part of the core of what I stream. Warframe was sort of where we all started, and it's something that's always been there at the core, and then everything else is just something we do every now and again. So things like Smite, things like Paladins. It's always focusing on the game that can get as many people involved as possible and have as much of a community interaction as possible as well. So we always look for like the sort of games that are available to the most amount of people.
Yeah.
So that's why you're free to play games. Kind of why the like Warframe and Smite and high res, general high res games sort of fit into it quite nicely. They all have the same sort of
I did come over to it all straight over onto Warframe after a very toxic community. I've played CS:GO for a very long time. But yeah, it's I gotta admit, playing Warframe is good, but I know with Warframe there can be some good and bad things. Is there anything that you think with the game you could improve, or is there anything that you're pretty much like, yeah, fuck it, it's pretty cool with?
What, in Warframe specifically, or?
Well, any games you really play, obviously, like with Paladins, Warframe, or any games, is there anything that you would say you could change? If you could have the power to change one thing, if the devs gave you it, or the own managers?
Oh god. Well, not going into the semantics of balance and the communities of games. I don't know, really. It's having the power to change something in a game would be a very tempting offer for anyone, and what you would do with that power would be anyone's guess. It's all well me saying something now, but it would be probably a different story if I actually had that ability. I guess if I actually had the ability in Warframe, I guess I'd say add actual raids back into the game. Like there's this. If anyone's played Warframe, you may have heard of the raid, Law of Retribution, the Jaws Verdict. They're aspects of the game that have been almost forgotten for the sheer sake that digital stream don't really focus on them that much anymore.
Yeah, they just focus. I've noticed they focus on frames, don't they, more?
They are kind of doing a similar thing in Plains of Ireland with the giant sentients you're going to be fighting, but they're not in the same sort of style as a raid. The raids are this like amazing little dynamic that really adds to a player's schedule.
Yeah.
So whereas somebody who may not know the raids would log in, do the sorties, and then just do whatever else in the game, the raids are that extra little thing that you can do every day that helps you meet more people, because you don't really get to play with more than 4 people at any given time.
No, I do like the fact is that you can, there's 8 people, you can go in and see stuff, or you can go to the relays and just, if you want, you can just chill at a relay and just like see all these awesome fashion frames. Obviously, I know people talk about fashion frame as being an end game, but come on, You got to admit though, you always want to spend time fashion framing up. So,
well, that's why I love doing fashion frame contests, because as much you jokingly say it's end game. There's no event in Warframe that I can think of that gets more people hyped and more people involved than a good old-fashioned frame.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one. Right, let's get a question from the chat. So if anyone's got a question for our guest here, Makairmorph, let's pop it up and then we will pull the meantime. Right, tell us something that we don't know about you, Makari, that you want to share with us. Something that not most people would know. Let's get diving into there a little bit.
I am secretly a woman.
Oh shit! That's why you got such a baby face.
I don't know. No, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm generally really open about myself in my streams. Am I a furry? Am I? In the sense, I am a furry as to. The furry community are a group of people that I can do artwork for, I guess. I suppose in a sense I am part of that community, but the way you describe your like the way you describe your involvement with the community depends on many variations. Like there are some people who live in a community for the social side of it. I myself I'm in it for the business side of it because it's where I made my job in, essentially.
Yeah. So you try to build a community, so obviously you've got good vibes and stuff, and you obviously don't want the negativity coming from most people in streams, but have you ever had any really bad negativity come from anyone in your stream or anything like that before? Is there
not in recent months. In the earlier times we did have a few things. There was one time in particular where a certain streamer was accusing me of botting at the time, although there were issues where people were legitimately botting me, and we would go from like 20 viewers to 150 to 700 viewers at a time, and it was people who were literally trying to either get a rise out of the situation or trying to cause mayhem for no apparent reason. And obviously, like it's hard to then say it's not me doing it, because people come into the stream, they see the inflated numbers, and they're automatically, you're just trying to get easy numbers, aren't you? Yeah, there are people out there who literally go out of their way specifically to try and cause shit.
Mayhem, I've seen that before. Okay, so we've got a question here from Mortalbid. If you could delete one frame from the game, which frame would you permanently destroy?
Oberon.
Really? Why?
Anything he can do, other frames can do better, and he looks silly. I mean, make like a tree and leaf, please.
Make a tree and leaf. Oh, I'm just going to plant a garden here. But yeah, no, that's cool. Okay, quick fire then. Pizza, pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
Can we just like mute this a second whilst I go off and cry in a corner?
Yeah, sure.
Pineapples on pizza are a sin to humanity.
So we're getting from the trolls when we put something coming in the plan. Delete limbo, people are now saying.
I'll have you Limbro is my favy. He's my soul frame.
Okay. Let's think of another thing. Right, so with your artwork as well, like how long have you been doing this? I think did you mention it was from 11 years old or something like that?
I've been doodling on and off since I was 11, but it became my job when I was, it became my profession when I started university, and then gaming sort of tethered into it a little bit as I was halfway through university, and as of a month ago, it is officially my job.
Yeah, because to be fair, I've seen a lot of your artworks, and you do a lot of giveaways on the streams, especially with the art as well, which I think is a nice touch for people who win it, because it's something personal as well, which you don't get to see a lot of many streamers do that though, which is probably one of the cool aspects as well with you. But I think the most, from my point of view, the most amazing thing that I've noticed with you is how humble and greeting you are with people. Like, you obviously didn't know who I was at the beginning of my career and my journey on Warframe when you raided me, but then we've had such a good bond that we've actually met in real life as well, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean it's a weird experience, because I do remember the very first time I hosted you, it was completely chance. It was that you were the last person I ever, one of the last people I ever just regularly raided for one reason or another, and just that random chance of this random person that I hosted ended up developing into this like really nice relationship with a really lovely person who's got the same sort of aspirations that I do for their community. And
oh, you're making me blush.
Oh, stop it, you.
No, stop it, you. No, I mean, that's what I enjoy. I've got to admit, especially with the Warframe community, the people that come in, they're all like, yes, it's fucking really friendly. Like, I've seen a lot of friendly people, and there is a lot of ocean. If you could replace one streamer with your face, so you could become that streamer for a day, which streamer in which community would you want to replace, and why?
In Warframe in particular, or just gaming in general?
Generally, you can choose whatever community you want.
I'd say probably Grims, Mr. Grims. He's a PUBG streamer, and he has a very similar ideology behind streaming as well. And you know, numbers don't mean anything to me really. Like I could have one viewer in my stream or a million viewers in my stream. My ideas for interacting with the community would still be the same. I'd still be the
same.
I'd still want to interact with as many of them as possible, as much as possible. But yeah, I suppose Mr. Grims is probably a shining example of what I want to be. So a similar thing to Lag TV Maximus Black, who was sort of the person that inspired me to stream in the first place.
Yeah.
One of those two.
What made you transition from just playing video games as a normal person to becoming this broadcaster and content creator? What was that signature moment that you went, do you know what? I want to start this journey.
Well, originally I was doing Twitch just for the shits and giggles of it, really, because it was when I was doing my artwork, I used to get my patrons on gaming nights, and we wouldn't stream it. We would just sort of play it offline together. 5, 6, 7, 8 of us just playing some games together. And one of them suggested, why don't you just stream it on Twitch for the hell of it, you know, so people who can't join the game can watch. So we'd have like 2 viewers, 3 viewers, 5 viewers at most. And one day somebody suggested, well, you could play Warframe, that's free and you can get everyone involved with it. So for a video, I decided to make quests to get Limbo, just for top hat reasons. And I think it was the 3rd stream in that I started seeing just little dribs and drabs, just 1 or 2 viewers that I'd never met before who had no idea that I was an artist and were there specifically because of the Warframe content. Yeah. And it was at that point I was like, I wouldn't mind streaming this a bit more, actually.
Yeah, because I think when Warframe first came out, I looked at it and I was like, this seems alright. Then I left it away for a little bit, came back, and you know what, like, the day that I came back to Warframe, everything changed. Like, the community basis behind it's so amazing, as I keep saying to this, and like, now we've got all these people asking questions. From Storm, he's asking, what are your thoughts on Play of Eidolon and the glass frame that's been announced?
Well, any thoughts I have right now are just skepticisms at best, and the game is still in such heavy development right now. Anything I say right now could be changed at a moment's notice, so take anything I say right now with a grain of salt. But I honestly think that the Plains of Eidolon is going to be Digital Extreme's advancement into the modern era of gaming. Because although the game's amazing, the game's fantastic what it is, they've stuck with the very similar and very samey mechanism of developing content for almost 3 or 4 years now. They've never really tried to expand the niches in the game, and adding open world is their way of saying, I believe, just trying their way of saying, look at me, daddy, I got my big boy pants on, we're ready to be taken seriously now. And I think it's their way of testing things as well, because they don't know whether people are going to enjoy this or not. So the Plains of Eidolon is a site of things to come in the future. Yeah. And if this works well, you're going to see that sort of idea going into a lot more of their content in the future. And as for the glass frame, I have no idea. It's going to be pretty transparent when we find out, though.
Oh, those puns. Let's see, going on one from the viewers. How long did it take you to build a monitor it to a large viewer base? Because obviously you do have a very large viewer base, as I've seen. So your journey's been quite long, has it, or has it been a short journey to get to where you are?
I suppose it depends on how you compare it, because some people just instantly have that viewership for whatever reason, whether you've had a previous community or not. Considering we've basically built from nothing, it's taken about a year and I'd say a year and a quarter to get to where I am now, which you could just consider the full-time element of streaming. And that's like 7 hours minimum of Twitch a day, and not including the 6 hours of artwork I would do a day.
You do quite a lot off stream as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Do all your artwork, and then I'm guessing you do admin work for the stream and all that.
Yeah, I have no social life.
What is life? Alright.
I sometimes look out my window. Is that what's called social?
No, that's just great graphics.
Worst gameplay though.
Oh, well, yeah. It hits you hard. It's got to pay to win. Well, you have to pay for everything, don't you, really? Right. Okay. Is there anything you want to ask me? Quick-fire questions, anything you want to ask me, or tell us more?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Where do I see myself in 5 years' time? Well, at my daughter's 6th birthday, yeah, I can tell you that for a fact. 5 years' time, hopefully, I would like to see my community and my content growing a little bit more, and maybe building myself a bigger audience. But I don't know. That's actually a really hard one to answer, because obviously a lot can change. But I want to still keep the positive vibe and grow, and like have a positive influence over the whole Twitch community as well, with other streamers, meet people. In 5 years, I would ideally love to travel to America to like go to TwitchCon and TennoCon. But that's like a little goal I have.
Yeah, cool.
Because obviously, like, what I want to do is there's a few streamers in the UK that I still want to go meet up and like host a big event, like where we all meet and, you know, just do something for charity. Especially like, you know, how you and me went to Be Long by Game.
Yeah.
I would like to do something like that.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. Well, I've already decided we're doing that as our stag do whenever I get married.
Pop the question.
No, maybe later.
What's that? Sorry, I'll send this to you.
Sorry, I was too busy admiring your amazing gameplay.
Ah, thank you. No, 5 years' time, hopefully I'll be married, get the wedding sorted as well.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of a good lead-on question as well. Like, how do you? It's not often you find streamers who have a family commitment as well, and can sort of tie that in with their streaming as well. And do you feel as though? How do you feel as though having this like very large family element affects your streaming?
I do try to find the balance between my family and streaming, because obviously I still want to be able to stream as much as I can to provide a good quality content, but I do find it hard because I have to stream at night, which is then a bit competitive with the other bigger streamers at this time, like the Americans, so it's always that. But for the last 6 months I've dealt with it quite well, but obviously it's going to be hard until the little one's a bit more older. But yeah, it isn't easy, I can tell you that. It isn't easy, especially like when you're streaming and the next thing you know you got your daughter like climbing up onto your desk trying to pull something off. It is easy, man. Well, it's not easy, but it's going to be one of them ones. But like,
I get you.
It's still quite a tough one to say, because it's like I always do try to put family first. Obviously, a lot of my community is understanding that if something did have to happen, like it has previously happened before in a stream where I've had a message that Jodie needed me to pick her up or something, I've had to drop the stream, and it is amazing that the community behind it are always behind you. They're like, yeah, fine, this is cool. So, okay, for me to ask you now, because you've asked me some stuff, what planet would you like to make next habited? Like, if you could make a planet habitable for humans, which planet would you like and why?
Uranus, baby.
Um,
In all seriousness, any planet that's not Earth, preferably. Any planet that gets me further away from the shenanigans of what's happening here. I don't know. I mean, Mars. Relive my loved childhood of Doom. Start on Science Foundation. Open a portway to hell.
Did you say Doom? Did you?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's gonna ask me into the next one. Okay, what was your childhood favourite video game?
Red Alert. Command & Conquer, Red Alert.
That's
that first game I ever owned, and I remember it vividly in my mind. I came home from primary school. My mum was waiting at the dinner table, and she held up the friggin' massive cinder block-sized disc case of 4 CDs, and was like, "Oh, look what we got for you! It's your first ever video game that you're gonna personally own." I was like, "Ah!"
Hey, so we've had another one from the chat. What's your favourite soft drink flavour / brand? What would be your favourite? This is not advertisement, by the way.
Plain water. No, coffee.
Yeah, you do like your coffee actually, because that's when we met. You was like telling me all about the different coffee places down where you was from, wasn't it?
When I first moved into this town, the first 2 days I lived here, I tried every coffee shop that there is in the city centre.
Yeah. Okay, so if you could travel anywhere in the top 3 places in the world, travel anywhere in the world, where would you go as well? What would you want to do?
Canada, Thailand, New Zealand. For different reasons or another.
I'm guessing Thailand you just want for the cultural experience, is it?
I was going to say ladyboys, but yeah, let's go with that.
Would you ever want to go to America? Well, obviously Canada is America.
Canada for multiple reasons. I mean, me and Sarah know people over there. It's got a very large animation community to it as well, and just generally going to actually be somewhere that isn't England for once. Because the last time I travelled abroad was New Zealand back when I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
And again, travelling to New Zealand again because I've got family over there. And it's just generally an amazing country with no poisonous animals whatsoever.
Wait, poisonous animals? What?
I am definitely afraid of poisonous animals, and I definitely don't want to go to Australia.
Yeah, but that's like I think everyone would be scared of poisonous. Fine, don't come to the US. Chad's saying. Have you ever tried anything exotic like sweets? Because obviously I know that the Americans have their own certain brand. Like we do get some stuff here. Is there anything that you would ever want to try that comes from a different country?
I think a lot of the foods that I would really love to try are very Asian orientated, hence the urge to want to go to Thailand. I think. I don't know really. I mean, I've been quite lucky in my my exploration of diversity in foods because my previous job as a chef and just generally exploring food markets. Oh yeah. But no, it's I've tried a lot of the stuff I've always wanted to try. Anything else now would be a case of either going to the country it's from, like Thailand, Poland, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, because obviously you mentioned you was a chef. What would be your favourite dish to cook for your partner, Siren?
Lasagna.
Oh, lasagna. You can't beat classic home cooking though, can you really?
Nah. It's a comfort food as well, which is nice.
To be fair though, on a nice cold day, nothing better than getting a nice lasagna, sitting by a fire and having garlic bread.
That was the first thing I ever got taught to cook properly when I became a chef. The head chef of the place I was working at put me on the bench next to him, and he showed me how to prepare the meat, how to season it properly, how to make your white sauce, and back then I had my only cooking experience was burning salad and making water
evaporate.
Yeah.
Burning water. Okay. Joke question. What's your favourite microwave meal?
Sainsbury's Madras.
No, to be fair though, getting a microwave, there's burgers that you can put in a microwave are really
Oh really? Really? You can't tell me you enjoy those questionably, arguably, possibly, maybe food substances that they contain.
Yeah. No, you get those little burgers and you can put them in.
Dear. That's not food. That's an excuse. That's a cry for wanting to be food, but never quite reaching it.
Okay, but if you could be any type of food, what would you be?
Any that gets me in your mouth quicker. I hear a hot dog calling my name. Food? Somebody in the chat's gonna say cucumber, I fucking know it. I don't know. Something meaty? A steak. I want to be a steak.
So you want to be a steak, do you? Nice.
Well, it'd be a bit of a raw question otherwise.
Medium well or well done.
Oh, raw, obviously.
Right.
If it's not about ready to get back on its feet and start walking around, I ain't gonna eat it.
Alright, let's get one more question in from these guys and let's finish up this interview with you. Okay, so guys, get one last question in. We're going to pop it and let Makari quick fire some answer questions with people. Let's think. Stupid question. What is the thing that you are most scared of?
Not being able to make the people who I stream to happy. Or not being able to please the people that expect of me. Like, I suppose the better way of seeing it is just letting people down or disappointing people, I suppose. Especially my girlfriend. Disappointing her would be the biggest travesty of my life.
Yeah, I understand that. I feel exactly the same way when it comes to things in my life, but yeah. Okay, so is there anything you want to ask me quickly before we finish up, or?
Round the back in 10 minutes, yeah, baby.
Well, we are in the countryside.
You are. I'm slap bang in the middle of a bloody city.
Makari, if you had to be an Overwatch person, who would you be, and what abilities would you have nerfed? That is the final question.
Widowmaker, because booty. I don't know. I don't play Overwatch. I know. I would be Reaper, because teleporting behind people with the shotguns would be rather amusing.
You'd be like, boop, hello.
Well, not to mention randomly conjuring shotguns out of thin air is a pretty good party trick, I hear.
Shame it can't be alcohol. Boop. Welcome to the party. Alright then, so guys, it's been a pleasure to have Makari here. Let's get some love in the chat for him. Makari, it's been a pleasure to have you on our very first ever episode of Streamers View and podcast. We'll be doing these every week, so guys, if you are watching this is on Twitch. Also, it will be on YouTube, so all the links in the description for Makari, so you can go follow him on his Twitter and YouTube and Twitch, which I highly recommend it. And if there's anything else that anyone ever wants to say, just whisper at him. So it's been a pleasure to have you here, Makari. As always, you know I love you and everyone here loves you, and we wish you all the best in the future with your stream and your career as a brilliant broadcaster, and I love the support that you give to everyone. Alright, so thank you very much for your time. So guys, we will see you again next week for the next episode.
Bye.